Have you ever wondered if you're truly connecting with your partner, especially in the most intimate moments? Have you ever felt that sense of uncertainty, that nagging feeling that maybe something's just not quite right? It's a feeling that many women experience, yet it often goes unspoken. In the quiet of the night, when the world falls away, you can't help but wonder if you're doing enough, or if there's something more you could be giving. These moments of doubt can be overwhelming, but they don't have to define you. The truth is, we all face these moments, where vulnerability meets fear and where confidence seems to slip away. But here's the powerful part. You have the ability to change it. You can reclaim the sense of security, the deep connection, and the passion you crave. It all starts with understanding, not just your partner's needs, but your own. This journey isn't about perfection or being flawless. It's about discovering a deeper, more authentic version of intimacy that feels empowering for both of you. So, why is this important? Why should you keep listening? Because what you learn in the next few minutes could change the course of your relationship forever. The struggles you're facing aren't just yours. They're common, shared by countless women who, just like you, are seeking a genuine, meaningful connection with their partners. You're not alone in this journey, and the insights you're about to discover will give you the power to transform your intimate experiences. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to not only improve your relationship, but to build a bond that's stronger, more connected, and far more fulfilling. Now, let's talk about the heart of the issue. The most common mistakes that women make in the bedroom, often without even realizing it. These aren't just small missteps, they're barriers that can slowly erode the connection between partners, causing frustration, distance, and ultimately, a loss of intimacy. But this isn't about blame or criticism. It's about growth. It's about understanding that mistakes are part of the journey and they can be corrected. The key is to approach this with a mindset of learning, of discovery. When you become aware of these pitfalls, you give yourself the opportunity to step into a new space of connection. A space where you can feel confident, desired, and truly seen. The simple truth is this: intimacy, real intimacy, is built on trust, confidence, and communication. When those elements are present, everything else falls into place. You'll no longer have to second guess or wonder if you're doing enough. You'll know with certainty that you're creating an experience that's fulfilling for both you and your partner. And that's the kind of connection that lasts, that deepens, and that becomes the foundation for a strong, loving relationship. So stay with me, because what comes next will help you not only understand what might be going wrong, but also how to fix it step by step. It's time to stop wondering and start transforming your relationship into something that feels right for both of you. The journey toward a deeper connection begins now. So many women believe that the key to deep intimacy lies in perfecting every little detail. The truth, perfection is a myth. It's the very thing that keeps us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and anxiety, constantly trying to measure up to an impossible standard. And when you approach intimacy with the mindset of perfection, something powerful gets lost: connection. What you may not realize is that your fear of not being enough can actually create distance, not closeness. It's when you start to believe that your worth in the bedroom is defined by performance that you begin to disconnect from the real, raw, authentic experience of being present with your partner. Men don't want perfection, they want you. They want your energy, your authenticity, your willingness to be vulnerable. But when you're too focused on performing, you're not showing up fully as yourself. And that's what leaves a gap in the connection. It's the anxiety of trying to get everything right that pulls you away from the moment. True intimacy, the kind that lasts, isn't about being flawless or checking off a mental list of things you should be doing. It's about being free to explore, to enjoy, to connect on a level deeper than physicality. When you stop worrying about how you look or whether you're doing everything correctly, something incredible happens. You become fully present. And that presence, that energy, is what makes all the difference. Your partner feels it. They feel when you're fully there with them, open, unafraid, and free from the fear of judgment. That's the kind of energy that fosters trust, intimacy, and connection. The energy of being unapologetically you. You might be thinking, but what if I don't know what to do? It's okay not to have all the answers. Intimacy is a journey of discovery, not a destination. The more you let go of the need to be perfect, the more space you create for real connection. You begin to explore your partner's needs, desires, and emotions with curiosity rather than fear. And the beauty of that is this: when you stop seeing yourself as someone who has to perform, you start seeing yourself as someone who has the power to truly connect. When you're no longer focused on performance, you open the door to something deeper: vulnerability. That's where true intimacy thrives. You're able to speak openly about what feels good, what doesn't, and what you need from your partner. And it's in this exchange, this dance of give and take, where the magic happens. When both partners show up without the pressure of performing, without the fear of failure, you create an experience that's real, alive, and deeply fulfilling. Let go of the idea that intimacy is about doing things right. Stop chasing perfection and start embracing the beauty of being imperfect, vulnerable, and fully engaged. That's where the connection lies. And when you release that pressure, you open the door to an entirely new world of intimacy. One that's more powerful, more fulfilling, and above all, more authentic. This isn't about perfection, it's about being real, being present, and creating a space where both you and your partner feel truly seen and valued. And that's a connection worth fighting for. There's something profound that happens when you start putting your own needs first. It's not selfish, it's essential. For far too long, women have been conditioned to prioritize their partner's satisfaction above their own, to give and give without taking time to honor their own desires. But when you neglect your own pleasure, you create an imbalance, a disconnect that can gradually erode the intimacy in the relationship. Men, too, want to see you fulfilled, to know that what's happening is as satisfying for you as it is for them. Without that, intimacy becomes one-sided, and the passion begins to fade. But here's the truth: when you start acknowledging and expressing your needs, you not only invite deeper connection, but you also inspire your partner to open up and share more of themselves with you. This is not about demanding or taking more than your fair share. It's about creating a space where both partners can feel equally valued and equally heard. It's about understanding that your pleasure matters just as much as his, and that the relationship can only thrive when both of you are engaged in creating something fulfilling together. The beauty of embracing your own needs is that it frees you from the trap of being constantly concerned about what your partner thinks or expects. When you take the time to understand what brings you pleasure, both physically and emotionally, you reclaim control over your own experience. This shift allows you to be more in tune with your body, your emotions, and your desires. It empowers you to communicate openly, to guide your partner toward what feels good and what doesn't, fostering a much deeper level of trust and connection. Your partner wants to know what you enjoy. They want to understand how to make you feel the way you make them feel. But they can only do that if you are open enough to share with them. Too many women silently endure uncomfortable situations, suppressing their desires in the name of keeping the peace or avoiding conflict. The truth is, when you deny yourself what you need, you're not just sacrificing your own happiness, you're sacrificing the potential for a truly vibrant, connected relationship. When both partners feel free to express their desires and boundaries, it creates an environment of mutual respect, where both people are free to explore, experiment, and enjoy the experience without fear or shame. This doesn't happen by accident. It requires intentionality and self-awareness. It requires you to reflect on what you want and communicate that with clarity and confidence. When you start to honor your own needs, you naturally shift the dynamics of your relationship. You stop seeing intimacy as a transaction, where you give without receiving, and you start seeing it as a shared journey, a journey where both partners are equally invested in each other's satisfaction and fulfillment. By embracing your own desires and speaking up about them, you create a foundation for deep connection. You invite your partner into your world, giving them a chance to be a part of your pleasure. And in return, you allow yourself to fully experience the joy and fulfillment that intimacy was meant to bring. When you take the time to put your needs first, you're not just enriching your own life, you're enriching the relationship, and ultimately you're building something real, authentic, and lasting. When was the last time you allowed yourself to explore something new, to step outside the confines of routine and try something that excited you, that stirred a sense of curiosity and adventure? So often, we get trapped in patterns, assuming that what worked once will always work. But passion, real passion, thrives on variety. It thrives on the unknown, on the willingness to take risks together. Intimacy isn't meant to be a series of predictable movements. It's meant to be an evolving experience, one that grows as you and your partner grow. When you shy away from exploring new things, you close the door to deep connection. You deny both yourself and your partner the chance to discover a new layer of intimacy that could bring you closer than ever before. Fear is often what holds us back from trying new things. The fear of judgment, the fear of stepping outside our comfort zone, the fear of not being good enough. But these fears are based on false assumptions. True intimacy isn't about being flawless, it's about being open. It's about creating an environment where both of you can let down your guards and explore with trust, without worrying about how you'll be judged. When you allow yourself to experiment, you invite a new energy into your relationship, an energy that reignites passion and keeps the connection alive. The desire for something new isn't about a need for more or a lack of satisfaction, it's about evolution. As individuals, we change, and so does our connection with our partner. What may have worked once might no longer spark the same excitement, and that's okay. It's not a failure, it's an opportunity. An opportunity to find new ways to connect, to explore each other in ways you've never done before. Embrace that opportunity because it will bring you closer. The most fulfilling relationships are those where both partners feel free to evolve together, to experiment, and to grow, without the fear of rejection, without the anxiety of being judged. When you open yourself to new experiences, you break free from the chains of routine and expectation. You allow the space for authentic connection to flourish. It's not about doing something to impress your partner, it's about doing something that deepens your bond. It's the shared vulnerability, the willingness to be open and try something that might be a little uncomfortable, but could lead to an entirely new dimension of intimacy. That's where the magic happens. When both of you are equally engaged, equally willing to explore, you create a sense of adventure and excitement that keeps the relationship vibrant and fulfilling. The greatest relationships are those where both partners continually discover new things about each other, both in and out of the bedroom. When you stop fearing exploration, when you stop holding back from trying something different, you create the space for passion to thrive. The willingness to experiment and explore together isn't a sign of insecurity, it's a sign of trust. It's an invitation to grow closer, to bond on a level that's deeper than anything routine can provide. Step into that space, trust yourself, trust your partner, and embrace the unknown. Your relationship has the potential to grow into something richer, more exciting, and more fulfilling than you ever imagined. Don't let fear keep you from experiencing the depth of connection that awaits. Take that first step into new territory, and watch as your intimacy evolves into something that feels truly alive. There is power in being present. We live in a world full of distractions, where our minds are constantly racing, and we're pulled in every direction. The pressure of everyday life can often spill over into the most intimate moments, leaving us mentally disconnected even when our bodies are there. But real intimacy, the kind that creates deep connection, is rooted in presence. It's about being fully immersed in the moment, leaving behind the noise of the world and focusing entirely on each other. When you're not fully present, you unknowingly build walls between yourself and your partner, and the connection that you crave starts to fade. The true gift of intimacy isn't in physical acts alone. It's in the energy you share, the emotional bond that you nurture in those quiet, vulnerable moments. When you give your partner your undivided attention, when you look into their eyes and allow yourself to truly see them, you invite them into your world. You show them that they are worth your time, that they matter in this space. And in return, you begin to feel that sense of validation and connection that you've longed for. That is the essence of real intimacy. Giving each other the gift of presence, of being seen, heard, and understood. The challenge, however, is letting go of all the distractions. It's easy to let your mind wander, to be preoccupied with the stresses of the day or the things left undone. But when you allow yourself to be present, you're telling yourself and your partner that this moment matters, that this connection is worth your full attention. It's a choice, and it's a powerful one. Being fully present means letting go of everything else and focusing completely on the experience, on the person in front of you. And when you do that, something incredible happens. You begin to unlock a deeper level of intimacy, one that's rooted not just in physical touch, but in emotional connection. There's a profound psychological shift that occurs when you start focusing on the present moment rather than getting caught up in what might be happening next, or whether you're doing everything right. You allow the experience to unfold naturally, without pressure, without expectations. And in that space, true intimacy flourishes. Both of you feel valued, understood, and deeply connected. This is the foundation for not just physical pleasure, but for emotional and psychological fulfillment as well. The kind of connection that endures, that grows stronger over time, because it's rooted in genuine presence and shared vulnerability. It's easy to forget that intimacy isn't just about what you're doing, but how you're doing it. It's about the attention you give, the energy you share, and the way you make your partner feel in those precious moments. When you are present, you invite the intimacy you seek. You create an environment where both of you can truly connect, where you can feel safe enough to open up, to explore, and to be vulnerable. That's when the magic happens, the kind of magic that transforms a relationship into something deeper, more meaningful, and more fulfilling. The kind of magic that's built on the powerful foundation of presence, where every touch, every word, and every moment is felt deeply. And that's the intimacy you deserve, the kind that nourishes, strengthens, and lasts. There's an undeniable strength in vulnerability, yet so many of us shy away from it. We fear it, we protect ourselves from it. But what if vulnerability was the very key to unlocking the deepest connection you could ever experience? What if, instead of running from it, you embraced it, and in doing so, discovered a new depth of intimacy that you never thought possible? It's easy to think that intimacy is about how good you look, or whether you're performing in the way your partner expects. But true intimacy is rooted in something far more powerful: your willingness to be raw, to be open, and to allow yourself to be seen for who you truly are. When you show up authentically, without hiding behind a mask or a persona, you invite your partner to do the same. You create a space where both of you can drop the pretenses, where both of you can experience each other fully. This is the foundation of a real, lasting connection. It's not about being perfect, it's about being honest. Honest with yourself, honest with your partner. And when you allow that kind of openness, the connection becomes unshakable. There's something incredibly magnetic about vulnerability. It draws people in, it creates trust, and it fosters a deep sense of safety between two people. This doesn't mean you have to spill every single feeling or emotion every time you're together, but it does mean being willing to be seen, flaws and all. It means being comfortable enough with your partner to share not just your joy and excitement, but also your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. It's in these moments of raw honesty that you build the kind of bond that is unbreakable. Because when you're vulnerable, you show your partner that you trust them with the most precious parts of yourself. And in return, they're more likely to do the same. It creates a mutual understanding that no amount of physical attraction or performance can ever replicate. The beauty of vulnerability is that it transcends perfection. When you're truly vulnerable, you stop worrying about whether you're meeting some imagined standard. Instead, you focus on the emotional connection that's unfolding in front of you. You stop trying to be everything and start being real. And that's when you invite the kind of connection that matters. It's not the superficial stuff that fades away. It's the deep, emotional bond that grows stronger the more you nurture it. Being vulnerable also means acknowledging your own needs and desires, not just your partner's. It means recognizing that your feelings are valid and that your pleasure matters. By allowing yourself to be vulnerable, you give yourself permission to ask for what you need and to be heard. And when you're heard, when your needs are met, the intimacy deepens. Your relationship flourishes in a way that's not based on what you think you should do, but on what feels true, real, and authentic for both of you. It's time to let go of the fear of vulnerability. Let go of the idea that you must have it all together, that you must be perfect in every moment. Instead, step into the power of being real, being open, and allowing yourself to be seen. That's where the true magic lies, the kind of magic that forges a deep, lasting connection that will continue to grow, evolve, and strengthen over time. You might be wondering what really makes someone irresistible. It's not just about looks or the way you carry yourself. It's about energy. It's about how you make others feel when they're in your presence. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being comfortable with who you are, unapologetically. When you exude confidence, you become magnetic. But confidence doesn't come from pretending to be someone you're not. It comes from accepting yourself fully, your strengths, your weaknesses, your quirks. It's about knowing that you're enough just as you are, without needing validation from anyone else. And when you realize this, something shifts inside you. You stop seeking approval and start living authentically. There's a common misconception that confidence is about being loud, assertive, or always in control. But true confidence is much more subtle. It's the quiet knowing that you are worthy, that your presence is valuable, and that you deserve to be seen and heard. When you carry that inner confidence, it radiates outward, and others can't help but notice. It's the way you walk into a room and command attention without saying a word. It's the way you engage with others, listening intently, speaking with conviction, and carrying yourself with poise. Confidence is about standing tall, not because you think you have to impress anyone, but because you believe in your own worth. This kind of confidence transforms intimacy. When you feel secure in who you are, you can let go of the need to perform or impress your partner. You no longer measure your worth by their reactions. Instead, you approach intimacy as an equal participant, knowing that both your needs and desires are just as important as theirs. You engage with your partner not out of insecurity or fear, but out of a deep desire to connect, to share, and to be present in the moment. When you are confident in your own skin, you stop hiding parts of yourself. You stop holding back for fear of rejection. You open up fully, allowing yourself to be vulnerable and real. And that's when intimacy becomes truly powerful. It's not about perfection or doing everything right. It's about the freedom to be yourself without fear. This confidence fosters a sense of security and trust, allowing both partners to let go and embrace each other fully. It's a dance of give and take, where both feel seen, valued, and appreciated. True confidence also means knowing that you have the power to create the kind of connection you desire. You're not waiting for someone else to make the first move, to offer validation, or to dictate the terms of the relationship. You take ownership of your own happiness, your own experience, and your own pleasure. When you do this, you not only transform your own sense of self-worth, but you also inspire your partner to do the same. Confidence isn't about being perfect, it's about being real. And when you embrace that, you create a connection that is deeper, more fulfilling, and more authentic than anything you ever imagined. It's time to step into your power, to own your worth, and to embrace the confidence that's already within you. When you do, everything changes. You'll not only transform your relationships, but you'll transform your life. Confidence isn't just about how others see you. It's about how you see yourself. And once you realize that you are enough, everything else will follow. The truth is, too many of us are afraid to ask for what we truly want. We fear that doing so will make us seem demanding, selfish, or unworthy. But here's the thing, your desires are valid, your needs are important, and the act of expressing them doesn't diminish your worth, it elevates it. When you learn to communicate openly and honestly with your partner, you create an atmosphere of mutual respect, understanding, and trust. Without clear communication, misunderstandings creep in, resentment builds, and the connection you crave slowly begins to fade. But when you speak your truth, when you share what you truly want, you allow your relationship to thrive. So why do we hold back? Why do we fear expressing our desires? It's often because we're worried about rejection. We're afraid that by asking for what we need, we'll be judged or turned away. But the act of asking isn't a weakness. It's a powerful declaration of self-worth. When you ask for what you need, you're showing your partner that you trust them enough to be vulnerable. You're showing them that you value the relationship enough to be open and honest, rather than allowing assumptions or misunderstandings to erode what you share. The beauty of this kind of communication is that it's not just about asking for physical needs to be met, it's about emotional needs as well. It's about being able to share your deepest desires, your hopes, and your fears, knowing that your partner will listen without judgment, with compassion and understanding. This kind of openness is what creates a true emotional bond. It's what deepens connection, because when you allow yourself to be seen in this way, you invite your partner to do the same. And that creates a relationship where both of you feel safe, seen, and heard. It's also important to recognize that asking for what you need isn't about expecting perfection. It's about finding a balance where both of you feel valued, where both of your needs are respected. It's not about making demands. It's about opening a dialogue, a space where both of you can express your desires freely without fear of judgment. When you approach these conversations with empathy and understanding, you set the foundation for a deeper, more fulfilling connection. The fear of asking for what you want often stems from a belief that you don't deserve it, or that you should somehow settle for less than what you truly desire. But the truth is, you deserve to have your needs met. You deserve to be in a relationship where both of you are willing to listen, to grow, and to meet each other's needs with love and care. Don't shy away from expressing your desires. Embrace them. When you ask for what you want, you not only invite deeper intimacy into your life, but you also inspire your partner to do the same. When both of you are able to communicate openly, honestly, and without fear, you create a space where both partners can thrive. You allow your relationship to flourish, deepening your bond and creating a sense of emotional safety and security. And when you both feel seen, heard, and understood, the connection becomes unbreakable. The intimacy you share becomes something far beyond physical. It becomes something that nourishes both of you on a deeply emotional and spiritual level. That's the kind of connection you deserve. And it starts with having the courage to ask for what you truly need. We often get caught up in the idea of being perfect or living up to certain expectations, especially in intimate relationships. But the truth is, perfection isn't what creates deep, meaningful connection. It's imperfection. It's the raw, unpolished parts of ourselves that make us real, make us human. When we embrace our flaws, when we let go of the need to appear flawless, we open ourselves up to something far more beautiful: authenticity. True intimacy isn't about meeting some ideal standard. It's about showing up as you are, in all your vulnerability, and allowing your partner to do the same. This is when the deepest connections are formed, not through the perfection we strive for, but through the acceptance of our imperfections. Many people fear that revealing their insecurities, their vulnerabilities, or their mistakes will push others away. But the opposite is true. It's when you allow yourself to be imperfect, when you let go of the fear of judgment, that you create space for real intimacy. When you show your partner that you're human, just like them, you invite them to be real with you in return. And in that raw honesty, you discover a bond that is far more profound than anything perfection could ever offer. It's in the messy, imperfect moments where the truest connection is formed. When you let go of trying to be perfect, you allow love, trust, and connection to flourish in its purest form. It's important to understand that the more you embrace your imperfections, the more confident you become in your own skin. When you accept yourself fully, flaws, insecurities, and all, you stop seeking external validation. You stop measuring your worth based on how others perceive you. Instead, you start to define your own value. This shift in mindset is incredibly empowering. You stop hiding parts of yourself, and you start showing up as your true, authentic self. And this is where real attraction lies. Not in pretending to be someone you're not, but in being completely unapologetic about who you are. The more you embrace your imperfections, the more you invite your partner to do the same. You create an environment where both of you can be vulnerable, where both of you can shed the armor you wear in the world and just be. This is the foundation of deep, lasting intimacy. It's not about how well you perform or how closely you meet some ideal. It's about being present, being real, and allowing yourself to be seen for exactly who you are. Intimacy is built on trust, and trust is built on vulnerability. When you share your true self with someone, when you show them your flaws, your fears, and your desires, you create a safe space for them to do the same. And in that space, love grows. You don't need to be perfect to have a deep, fulfilling connection. In fact, it's your imperfections that make you uniquely beautiful. And it's in embracing those imperfections that you unlock the kind of intimacy that transforms your relationships. So let go of the pressure to be perfect. Stop striving for an ideal that doesn't exist. Instead, embrace your true self, flaws and all, and watch as your relationships evolve into something far more profound than you ever imagined. When you choose authenticity over perfection, you choose connection. And that's where the real magic happens. You may feel the weight of expectations pulling at you, wondering if you're doing enough to keep things exciting or satisfying your partner's needs. But in truth, the most powerful connection you can create comes from showing up fully, not trying to be someone you're not. Too often, we focus on meeting external standards, on keeping things exciting or fulfilling for someone else. Yet, the greatest intimacy grows from simply being present, both physically and emotionally. When you give your partner the gift of your full attention, when you're genuinely there, body, mind, and soul, you create a deeper bond that nothing else can replicate. The idea that we need to constantly perform in relationships is a myth. The key to true, lasting attraction is presence. Simply being present in the moment, connecting authentically, and creating space for both of you to just be together without pressure or pretense. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that sex and intimacy must always be a whirlwind of excitement, but the truth is, true connection doesn't have to be flashy. It doesn't have to be over the top. The most meaningful moments come from the quiet ones, when you can look into each other's eyes, when you hold hands, when you share a touch that speaks more than words ever could. These are the moments that build a foundation of trust and comfort, where you let down your walls and allow each other to see the real you. This is what draws people together, not the show, but the genuine connection. You don't need to constantly perform or prove yourself. What matters most is the emotional exchange, the authenticity you bring to the moment. The power of being present is that it removes the pressure. You're not focused on how you look, how you perform, or whether you're meeting certain expectations. You are focused on the moment, on connecting in the deepest, most meaningful way. You stop trying to be everything for someone else, and instead, you allow yourself to just be enough as you are. When you let go of the need to impress or be perfect, you invite deeper connection. You create a safe space for your partner to show up as they truly are as well. And in that space, love, trust, and intimacy can thrive. This is where real transformation happens, when you stop measuring your worth by how much you can give or how much you can perform, and instead simply show up with your whole self, emotionally and physically. That's when your relationships take on a new dimension. That's when you stop seeing yourself as an object to be perfected or a performance to be critiqued, and start seeing yourself as a whole, worthy person deserving of true love and connection. This shift isn't just about what you offer to others, but what you offer to yourself. When you stop performing for approval and simply embrace the power of your presence, you open up the possibility for others to see and appreciate you in the same way. Remember, true intimacy isn't something you force or fabricate. It's something that happens naturally when both people can relax, trust, and be fully present with each other. The greatest moments of connection often come from simply being together in a space where neither feels the need to prove anything. Let go of the pressure, stop trying to impress, and focus on creating that space where vulnerability and authenticity can flourish. That's where the magic happens. So many of us struggle with the idea of self-worth, believing that our value is tied to what others think of us. We place so much emphasis on how we're perceived, on whether we're enough in the eyes of others, that we forget the most important thing, how we perceive ourselves. True intimacy begins within. It starts with self-love, self-acceptance, and knowing that you are enough just as you are. If you constantly measure your worth by someone else's approval, you'll never truly be able to give yourself fully in a relationship. The foundation of any strong, meaningful connection is built on self-respect. If you don't honor and value yourself, it becomes nearly impossible to have a truly deep, fulfilling relationship with another person. When you begin to truly value yourself, you start to see yourself in a different light. You stop seeking external validation and start to acknowledge your own worth. It's about recognizing that you are deserving of love, of care, of respect. Not because of anything you do for someone else, but because of who you are at your core. Self-worth doesn't come from performing, from pleasing others, or from being what someone else wants you to be. It comes from within. When you believe in your own value, it shows in every aspect of your life, especially in your relationships. You stop giving your energy to those who don't appreciate you and start investing it in those who see and value you for who you truly are. This shift in mindset is transformative. It allows you to step into your relationships with a sense of purpose, clarity, and strength. You stop entering into relationships out of desperation or fear of being alone. You start seeking connection because you know you deserve it. And when you approach relationships from this place of self-respect, you're able to set boundaries, communicate openly, and create space for mutual growth. You no longer feel the need to sacrifice yourself for the sake of keeping someone else happy. Instead, you hold space for both your needs and your partner's needs, ensuring that both of you feel valued, heard, and seen. True intimacy is built on equality. It's not about one person constantly giving more than they receive. It's about both people showing up fully with mutual respect, trust, and love. When you know your own worth, you no longer settle for less than you deserve. You refuse to accept treatment that diminishes your value. You recognize that you are worthy of a partner who appreciates you, supports you, and treats you with the love and respect you offer in return. When you come from a place of self-worth, your relationships become a space of mutual support and growth, where both of you feel seen and heard. Self-worth is the foundation of everything. It determines how you show up in your relationships, how you set boundaries, how you communicate, and how you love. When you embrace your worth and stop seeking validation from others, you become a magnet for the kind of love and connection that you've always dreamed of. You no longer need to seek out relationships to feel validated. You already know your value, and in doing so, you open yourself up to the deepest, most fulfilling connections. You stop settling for less than you deserve, and you begin to create relationships where you are truly seen and loved for the amazing person you are. The truth is, we often hold ourselves back because we're afraid. We fear rejection, fear judgment, fear vulnerability. But what if we allowed ourselves to let go of that fear and embrace the freedom of being fully authentic? The weight of fear can be heavy, but it's a burden that keeps us stuck in unhealthy patterns, preventing us from experiencing true connection. When we hide our true selves, when we keep parts of ourselves locked away, we're not allowing the kind of deep intimacy that we deserve. It's in the act of letting go of fear, of showing up as we truly are, that we open the door to real transformation in our relationships. You have so much power within you, but that power is only unlocked when you give yourself permission to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it is a strength. It takes courage to stand in your truth, to expose the parts of yourself that you've hidden, but when you do, you create space for true connection. People don't connect with your perfect persona. They connect with the real you, the one who has fears, flaws, dreams, and desires. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you invite others to do the same. It's in that shared vulnerability that deep trust and intimacy are formed. We fear that if we show too much of ourselves, we'll push people away. But the opposite is often true. When we allow ourselves to be fully seen, without the masks, without the walls, we create the kind of connection that is rooted in authenticity. Real intimacy is about embracing each other's imperfections, supporting each other's growth, and accepting each other as you are. It's about being open, even when it's uncomfortable. When you let go of the fear of being judged, you create a space where both you and your partner can grow, heal, and love more deeply. It's essential to recognize that the act of opening up isn't just for the other person, it's for you. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you allow yourself to experience love on a deeper level. You stop hiding and start living fully. Every time you embrace vulnerability, you strengthen your ability to connect, to trust, and to love. And each time you do, you realize that the world doesn't fall apart because of your authenticity. In fact, the more you show up as you are, the more you invite the right kind of love and connection into your life. It's in the moments of raw vulnerability that you realize the depth of what you're capable of, both as an individual and as a partner. When you let go of fear, You stop holding yourself back from the kind of love you deserve. Fear only limits your potential. It keeps you trapped in the false belief that if you expose yourself too much, you will be rejected. But vulnerability isn't about losing control, it's about gaining it. It's about claiming your worth, embracing your truth, and allowing others to meet you exactly where you are. When you let go of fear, you embrace the freedom to be your truest, most authentic self. And in doing so, you attract the relationships that truly align with your heart and soul. Only then will you experience the deep, transformative love you've always desired.